You want to start a fitness journey, but you don't know how or where to start. Simply starting is the hardest part of the entire journey, in my opinion. Remember, this is a lifelong journey, but just by you being here, taking the time to look it up and watch this video, you are a step ahead than many people. And by you taking action after this video, even if it's the tiniest step towards the direction of starting, you are a step ahead so many more people. Think about where you could be in 6 months. Think about where you could be in 1 year from now. You could be an entirely different person if that's what you want to be. And I'm going to tell you where you're going to start. Breaking it up into the most important categories, in my opinion, we're talking working out, food, sleep, and mindset. First things first, exercise. You've never worked out before. Or maybe you did a really long time ago, but you have not worked out recently. That's okay. You're scared to join a gym. That's normal. What you're gonna do before you even set foot in a gym, you're gonna do a little bit of research. You're gonna look at all your different options. Maybe in your head, the only way to work out is running, but you hate running. Well, don't make yourself run. Or maybe you think you have to go and deadlift hundreds of pounds. That's not necessarily the case. There are so many different styles and types of workouts that you can do that are beneficial for your body and your mental health, so many aspects of your life, that if you don't like one, you can try another. So first, I want you to research. What are the different types? Make a big list. Okay, there's weightlifting. But into weightlifting, keep in mind, you don't have to touch scary weights if you don't want to. You can do so much with dumbbells. Okay, another category is cardio. Maybe you do love running. Maybe you don't know if you love running. Maybe you love incline walking. What else can you do? There's Pilates. People love Pilates. There's also bar. There are so many types of workouts that I think you need to be aware of how many options you actually have so that you don't get stuck into doing things continuously that you hate and building a very negative relationship with working out, because you're gonna be doomed right from the start. So step one, you're gonna look into it. What even are your options? You gotta find, with trial and error, what best fits you. Whether it's at home, it's in the gym, it's a workout class, etc. Next, maybe you're joining a gym for the first time or the first time in a while and you're scared. I am about to do this actually in January, and I have a plan for it. Not only am I going to tour the gym before I even go in there, right? I'm not even gonna go in with workout clothes. I'm gonna go in, get a tour, figure it out, see all the equipment, see what's going on. My first day there, I plan to just go and go on the treadmill. Not because I'm only gonna do treadmill workouts, but because on the first day, if you're intimidated, you're scared, your anxiety is rising, you don't really wanna like go in and be intimidated by other people, I think a great thing to do is find a treadmill, hop on, whether you walk, whether you run, whatever, just soak in the environment. Try to take note of where things are. Maybe look at some machines that you kind of want to try out, and if you're too scared to try them the first day, that's okay. Look at what they're called, look at what they do. Look up some videos at home of people demonstrating these, so that when you go back the next few days, you can slowly work up to trying them. Gym anxiety is a real thing, and it's so normal and it's okay. Especially if you're new and you feel vulnerable, I think baby steps are honestly the best strategy. You know, just find a safe spot. Everyone knows how to work a treadmill. Start walking and just observe. Get comfortable. And once you feel a little bit comfortable, start branching out. Slow steps and small progress is really always the most sustainable route. If you have a friend to go with a friend. Also, keep in mind, everybody is worried about how they look, that nobody is worried about how you look. And if you've made it to the gym, you are a step ahead so many other people. Not that you should be comparing yourself, but I'm just saying you should be proud. And you are on track to be in a completely different place in a few months, if that's what you want. You get in the gym, you try a bunch of different things out. Maybe you're starting to kind of figure out what workouts you like to do. I think it's important to establish a routine. If you're not a morning gym person, you don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning and go to the gym. If you are, amazing. You can do that. By all means, do it. You know, you deserve to be there just as much as the next person. Even if they look insanely ripped and like they're there all the time and you're not, you deserve to be there. You're paying to be there. You deserve to be there. However, for me at least, I find that I have the best mentality going into my workouts when it's simply out of routine and habit. And not even like I wanna hit the gym at 6 o'clock every single day, but in terms of I wanna wake up, do this, do this, do this, change my clothes, get to my workout. Just kind of in an order thing. If you give yourself a set routine, you don't really have room to procrastinate, you don't really have a chance to skip it, you gotta stay on route to make sure everything works out, you're a little less likely to skip it, you know? If you just say you're gonna work out for the day, you're less likely to stick to that, but if you say, I'm gonna work out after I brush my teeth. I'm gonna work out after I walk my dog. I'm gonna work out after I have my coffee, whatever. Set yourself up so that you do this, you work out. Or maybe it's after work, right? You go straight from work to the gym. Or you get home, you eat dinner, you clean up, you get to the gym. Habit stacking is a really good way to set you up to do things in order and on track. Off of that, you gotta get specific. If you wanna stick to working out, don't just say, I'm gonna work out twice this week. I'm gonna work out 3 times this week. No, you need to say, I'm working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, I'm gonna do the 12-3-30 with a good cool down. Wednesday, I'm gonna do lower body. Friday, I'm gonna do upper body. If you have a more specific plan, you are so much more likely to go through with it. That being said, something I personally plan to do that I think is really gonna help, maybe buy a plan. There are so many plans available. Of course, do your own research. You wanna do one that's gonna fit your needs, that you believe in, from someone that's credentialed, something you trust. But if you buy a plan and it gives you things to do on each day, you're more likely to go through with it. You know, you can't just say, I'm gonna work out. You have to get specific with it. If you get specific with it, you're way more likely to stick to it, stay on track, and the more you work out, I promise the easier it gets. Not in terms of intensity, right? Like, if things are getting easier, you should make them harder so it's still challenging on your muscles. But I just mean, when you start working out, it might be hard, right? You might not always wanna be there. When it's new to you and it's just hard to get to the gym, like, that's okay. But the more you do it and the more it's routine and it's habit, the more you're gonna stick to it and the easier it is on the mental, and it's just part of your identity now. A nice thing to start out with is simply just movement. You know, the more you move your body, whether it's incorporating more walks or just going to the gym to walk, for example, the more you move your body and the more you get used to that, the more you might want to branch out into other things. Simply just making an effort to try to move more can be a great gateway into working out and just fitness and a fitness journey in general. Something that can help too is if you feel lonely or you want to ask for help, there are different apps and different resources that you could try out. For example, I've heard of one called Copilot that I think connects you with a trainer. Maybe they have a free trial, try something like that. First Form has an app where you can pay, I think it's $12 a month, and you have direct communication with a trainer as well. There are different resources, and just kind of being aware of what's out there and maybe trying, you know, dipping your toes in a few different things can really help you and just make you feel not alone. Having someone along with you can make a big difference, whether it's a friend, a workout buddy, maybe you meet someone at the gym and you develop a relationship there, or maybe someone who's also new, especially in the new year, you know, there might be a lot of new people. Or if you don't have someone like that in person, these apps and different things like that, some of them do cost money, I know, but maybe it's worth it. And just kind of having someone on your team and someone that can help you and reassure you can make a huge difference. And if it's gonna help you stick to this, it might be worth the investment. You know, your health kind of is an investment. And once you get really comfortable in the gym, I think that's when you can set more specific goals. For example, for me, my original goal was kind of lose some weight and get in shape. Then it was maintaining it. Then it was building muscle. Now I want to get a plan so that I can, you know, focus on achieving more real results. I'm a little bit more comfortable with weights than a few months ago, so I'm kind of ready to narrow down my goals, but that was my evolution. And if you have to go through that evolution, that's okay. You know, your goals are going to continuously evolve. Like I said, this is a lifelong journey, but maybe you just start with something light because you're simply starting. You know, don't rush the process. You can change, you can evolve, you can learn, and sometimes you just have to go through these things to learn something for yourself, to know what you even want and to know what your goals really are. I'm learning stuff every single day. Every single time I try to work out, I learn something new. Whether it's something that, you know, a lot of people already know and I'm just learning it for the first time, or it's something I read and I actually then experience it, or whatever. I learn so much every single day, and that's the importance of trial and error and evolution and just trying to keep going with this. Let's talk about nutrition and food and eating and all of that. This is so overwhelming, right? I feel like you research it and you find so many different things. You might find a lot of conflicting sources, and I will say right away, I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not gonna give you advice on meal plans or anything like that. I'm just simply not qualified to. My best advice on starting to change up your diet, maybe eating a little healthier, whatever, is to start slow. Just like my advice is with any other part of this, you gotta start slow. Especially because when you are starting on a fitness journey or whatever, your starting point is gonna look so much different from someone else's starting point. So a very generalized tip is to, when I say start slow, start incorporating more overall good foods. Maybe cook more at home. Use Pinterest as a tool. I cannot even explain to you how often I use Pinterest for healthy meals. It seriously is so worth it. But simply by making an effort to incorporate more good whole foods into your meals and your daily diet, you're gonna have less room for the bad stuff. So instead of thinking cut, think about adding. Add nutritional value, add whole foods, and straight up cut it with the fad diets. Cut it. Stop. That's the only thing you're cutting. The only thing you're cutting is fad diets. If you want to do something like intermittent fasting, great, do that. When I say fad diet, I'm more so talking about the Atkins diet, for example, or any sort of cleanse, things like that. Just stop it, because maybe you drop some weight fast, but if it's not how you want to eat forever, you're more than likely to gain the weight back or gain more than just the weight back. Cleanses your liver, detoxes itself. You don't need to detox your liver, and more often than not, they're just gonna make you poop everything out, and maybe you'll feel lighter for a few hours, but it's literally temporary, like very temporary, and maybe you're just losing water weight, maybe you're gonna become dehydrated because of it. We don't need to do any of those things. If it's not sustainable, don't do it. The thing is, there are no shortcuts, and the faster you accept it, the faster you can continue working on yourself and make progress and be happier, honestly. Another tip with food is more protein. And I'm not gonna tell you you have to go get this many grams, weigh this food, whatever. But if you're someone who doesn't pay attention to what they're eating at all, simply make an effort to have protein at every single meal. Whether you're a vegetarian, whether you have no dietary preferences, no matter how you eat, there are different ways to get in protein. Make sure you are getting protein in at every single meal. If you do want a number to shoot for, you can go for 1 gram of protein per your ideal body weight. For example, 100 pounds would be 100 grams of protein in a day. But not only does protein help you stay full, it helps create lean muscle mass. The more lean muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn simply at rest or just doing anything, the better for your bones, your skin, your hair. Protein does probably more than you think for you. And research this. If you're curious and you're like, Morgan, it can't be that great, just look it up, look into it. Give me a chance, look into it. If you need a good recommendation for protein powder, I do really love First Form. I think it's the best quality. I have it every single day in my coffee. It dissolves great. I'll have some linked below. I always have some linked in my videos because I have it, like I said, every single day. They also have incredible flavors, and they do have vegan options as well. And protein is really just good for aging and optimal health. Not even just muscles and a fitness journey, because when you think eating protein, you think like, oh, a gym bro, like wanting muscles. No, it's literally good for like health. All around health, long-term health, like just living a long, good, healthy lifestyle probably requires a good amount of protein. And a lot of times, if you're not paying attention to what you eat, you probably just don't get enough in. And that's okay. You know, we might eat different if we learned a lot more about this growing up, and that just isn't the case for a lot of us. It wasn't the case for me. Another tip though is balance and still finding the time for the foods that you really love, even if they're not healthy. Say you love ice cream, don't just completely cut out ice cream, because if you say that you can't have it, you're just gonna want it more. Find a balance. Things are fine in moderation, but incorporating more of the good will give you less time for the bad. And if you completely cut something out, you're so much more likely to give up faster. So making room for those things and still enjoying life, and you know, food is a big part of life, and life is meant to be lived, and so you should never just completely give it up, right? Finding a good balance that works for you is really important. And you can achieve goals even by still eating ice cream. Like, just don't have it every single day. And something I'm working on too is cooking more and cooking more meals that are new to me, because the more I cook, the more I'm kind of learning about different things, and honestly the better I'm eating. I feel like when I'm starting to learn what goes with what and why things are what way, it helps me a lot. So I'm trying to learn more in the kitchen by trial and error. Just like I said, is so smart to do with working out, trial and error. So try to cook more at home. Pinterest. Food is a really complicated topic, and especially because I'm not someone who's registered or credentialed in this area, I think really those are my best tips. Just try and do your best to learn. Keep an open mind, and it's scary to research this topic, honestly, because there's so many toxic things in our environment, and the word chemical is thrown around. You know, there's good chemicals, there's bad chemicals, whatever. Like, it can be a scary thing, it can be overwhelming and honestly anxiety inducing if you choose to look into this more. But you know, making an effort to have more fruits and vegetables, having more fiber. Fiber is also something that I feel like a lot of people lack and need more of. When you think about like a classic well-rounded diet, you know, you probably think about having all the food groups. In my opinion, that's such a great approach and great mindset, and just not being 0 or 100 with it. Balance is the best thing you can do with every aspect, but especially food. Try not to hyperfixate on food because that's just gonna send you into a spiral and make things worse for you and harder, but just try and know you're doing your best. You do not have to be perfect. You will not be perfect, and just slowly make changes. Take note of how different foods make you feel too. Incorporate more of the ones that make you feel good, and the ones that make you feel terrible or, you know, like you need a nap right after or make your stomach hurt, you know, stuff like that. Try to have less of them. Again, without cutting anything majorly. Try to keep an open mind and do some research if you can. Okay, sleep. Sleep is another thing that I feel like is so underestimated. When people think fitness journey, they think about working out and eating healthy. They don't always think about sleep. Sleep is literally so important, okay? Not only can adequate sleep help you literally lose weight, but it can add years onto your life. I'm fully serious. By not getting sleep, your hunger hormones are thrown off. You're probably gonna feel hungrier even if you don't need the food. It's gonna be harder for you to feel full. You're gonna want more of those empty calorie, like traditionally bad foods. You're probably gonna eat more sugar. Like there's just, bad sleep affects so many different areas. And then when you don't sleep well, of course you don't have energy to work out, right? It affects that too. And then you're probably crabbier. It affects your social life, your attitude, your mindset. You don't want to stay on track with things. Of course you can't get perfect sleep every single night, but you have to make sleep a priority. Good quality sleep just matters so much, whether you're trying to lose weight, build muscle, whatever. Not only can it help your eating habits and help you stay on track to lose weight, but also if you're trying to build muscle, recovery and sleep is where your muscles are healing and growing after you work them out. Sleep, I can't, like, I wish, this is another thing I wish we learned a ton more about growing up because it's so important. And not enough sleep routinely is gonna put you at more risk for disease. Bad sleep not only has short-term, but also long-term consequences. Also, who doesn't wanna get sleep, right? Like, this is a good thing. Like, prioritizing sleep for your health should make you happy, you know? And again, I don't have kids, right? I know not everyone can just get good sleep, but you have to make it a priority and kind of arrange your schedule to allow yourself to get good sleep. If you stay up late at night watching TV, you don't need to be doing that, right? And sometimes it's the cold hard truth that you just gotta eliminate some of those habits. Again, life is meant to be lived. You can rearrange things. You can, you know, balance it out, but do what you can do to get better sleep. 7 hours is better than 6 hours, you know? It's not like you have to be sleeping 9 hours a night. It's just do what you can to get good sleep. I also find that working out regularly helps me get to bed at night and helps my sleep throughout the night be better as well. So keep in mind that all of these habits and positive approaches work together and they all help each other out. So by making good choices in all these areas, it's gonna help you make good choices in the other areas, if that makes sense. I just can't say it enough, you gotta get good sleep. It's gonna help you eat better, it's gonna grow your muscles, it's gonna help you get rid of fat, it's gonna help you be happier, feel better, and if you need more info, look it up or read the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I will link it. Mindset is huge. Things I think of right away are, number one, do not be in the cycle of all or nothing because you're not gonna get anywhere with it. When I say all or nothing, I mean being all unhealthy, not having any regard for, you know, working out, movement, just eating all junk, like just, you know, no concern for healthy habits, or being fully all in where it's like you only eat spinach and chicken and exercise all the time and have no room for more fun and ice cream and things like that, you know. Being in that cycle, it's so easy to get caught in that cycle, but it's a cycle for a reason because going all in doesn't last. You're gonna burn out, you're gonna go back to doing nothing, then you're gonna get tired of being tired and feeling bad and you're gonna wanna go all in. It's just not, you know. And I think part of the thought is that by going all in, you're gonna get faster progress, but really slow progress is best and it's the most sustainable, and this is a lifestyle change. That's the other thing. You gotta remember that this is literally about lifestyle. It's not just a year long. It's not just a few months long. Like it is forever, and your goals will evolve. What you do evolves. Your day-to-day evolves. You're gonna have ebbs and flows, right? You have to remember that you gotta be in it for the long run, and that's why starting slow and small is the best because it's literally like slow and steady wins the race. And also remember that this is a choice. You know, your habits create you, and what you choose to do on the day-to-day basis is going to predict your outcome and be your outcome, you know? And growth is done outside of your comfort zone. And it's not that, you know, you have to work out, but think about it as you get to. You get to work out, you get to eat these good, yummy foods, you know, you get to sleep. Just by having the choice to go to the gym, you know, a lot of people don't even have that choice. Try to be thankful for what your body can do and how good you feel after eating a really good, truly nutritious, but also tasty meal, you know? Think about how awesome that is and what your body does for you and how good you feel after you do get in a really good workout. You know, all of this is not just for aesthetic reasons. It's about, like I said, kind of optimal long-term health, but also mental health. What you consume, whether it be what you eat, what you consume online, how you work out, you know, what you're doing to yourself, all of this affects your mental health. And that has such a big part in your fitness journey. It's called a fitness journey or a wellness journey or a health journey, whatever, but it includes so much. It's not just about exercise. The term fitness journey is just kind of broad and like what people think of when they think about trying to do all of these things, right? But it truly encompasses so much. And remember, the more you do, the more you're gonna learn and the more you're gonna figure it out and start to enjoy it. And remember too, you're gonna feel better before you start looking better. And a lot of times people quit right before they start seeing that physical progress, but it really takes your body a long time to see physical progress. It does, and that's okay. But that's why you gotta develop these habits so you can be in it for the long run. And no matter where you are, how old you are, what your variables are, starting makes all the difference. And you'll be a step ahead. And you know, by changing your habits, like I said, you could literally add years to your life and you could improve your quality of life. You could change your life if that's what you want to do, but it is in your control. You know, you have to be the one. Nobody can really hold your hand every single step of the way, and nobody can be doing this for you. You have to be the one to do it and to maybe rearrange your priorities and to make the choices to delay the gratification and do the hard thing, because it's hard. You know, it's hard. Nobody's saying it's easy, for good reason, because that's straight up a lie. And also remember, you're not going to be motivated every day. That's why sticking to routines, developing habits and self-discipline, and just doing whatever you can to be consistent, remembering your why. Why are you doing this? How good do you feel when you're staying on track? You know, all of those things really gotta support you, because you're not gonna be motivated every day. You're gonna have motivation, but it's gonna come and go. And that's just the reality of it. Like I said at the beginning, think about where you could be in 6 months. Think about where you could be in a year. Think about where you could be in 5 years. You gotta be in it for the long run. But by me saying that, also remember, you can start slow. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Be in it for the long run, but slow in small steps. Sticking to those, incorporating more slow and small steps is the best way to stick to something, really. Again, I don't have credentials. I really just have my own experience and what I have learned and what you have told me, and then I've applied to my own life and then try to share back to other people that don't know about it. I love getting comments about really awesome tips and things. It's so great to have a community to all help each other and stuff like that. And there are so many more tips and advice and different things like that on how to start a fitness journey, a health journey, etc. But these are my tips that I think really work well. Comment your tips and what has helped you and what you're excited to implement, and maybe that can help other people in the comments as well. I'm always rooting for you no matter where you are and where you're trying to be, but starting or staying on track, you are a step ahead so many other people, and maybe a step ahead so many past versions of yourself too. Give yourself props. You can do it. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you in my next one.